Happy New Year! It's January 2021 and after 4 months on YouTube, now we have more than 6,000 subscribers, more than 100,000 views, and more than 400,000 minutes watched. This is not something that's going to happen if not because of your support. So here with us today are the senior lecturers of 9.09er for Ielts, Oet, and PTE. Let us welcome back Sir Pheelyp Aytona and Sir Brian Shawson. Would you like to greet our subscribers and audience?
Sir Brian?
Oh yeah. Happy New Year everyone, and thank you for subscribing and following 9.09ers YouTube channel and all of our social media pages. It's been a tough year, but here we are sending you a message of hope, and here we are hoping to help you further in achieving your goals and aspirations in life and succeeding in your English exams.
Definitely, we shouldn't let anything as small as a pandemic get in the way of fulfilling our dreams. So we're here to help you make them come true. Let's get to work.
Okay, so for our first video this 2021, we're going to do another round of OET live speaking exam. Now, how is this different from our first video that we released 3 months ago? That video, by the way, OET live speaking, generated more than 8,000 views in just 3 months. Now, we're going to try something different. So, the situation is, we have a nurse who is a candidate, but you might want to ask, why are we going to focus on nurses? Well, that's because, according to OET statistics, 73% of the candidates taking OET are nurses by profession, followed by physicians at more than 20%, whereas the remaining less than 5% account for all other professions. So, before, we had a patient who's relatively kind. But what about the situation now for our OET speaking role play? An irritable patient, an irate customer. So before anything else, would like to ask our senior lecturers to give our subscribers an overview of OET speaking and what to expect. Sirs?
Well, OET speaking is actually very different from other English exams, because it's a role play that you have to do. You will be having 2 role plays for 5 minutes. You have 3 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes preparation time, and you will have to facilitate a conversation or consultation with a patient. And you will be playing the role of the healthcare provider, and the patient is the interlocutor, the one that you're talking to. But Sir Pheelyp, the person you're talking to is not the one who's going to grade you. Is that right?
That's right. Unlike, for example, in the Ielts exam where the person you're speaking with is the one who's giving you your grade, here in the OET, the person you're talking to is only there to facilitate the conversation. Your examiner is actually based in Melbourne, and the only input that he would be having to be able to evaluate your performance is your audio. So this makes it different compared to other tests where maybe other non-verbal, non-language aspects may influence your performance, such as, for example, your attire or maybe your scent. Here, it's exclusively the language that you're based on, that your grades are based on, which makes it superior in that sense.
Okay, so thank you so much for that overview. Now, we're going to look at the speaking case notes here. So may I see the case notes? Okay, so we have 2 different case notes, by the way. One for the candidate and one for the interlocutor. So let's begin. OET sample role play. Role player card number 1 for nurses. The setting is emergency department local hospital. Now, details of the patient. You are 35 years old and you were involved in a car accident earlier today and are suffering from whiplash and a headache. You're feeling sorry for yourself and are impatient to be better. So, for the task, number 1, be confused that you have been kept in hospital for so long. given there are no signs of broken bones, cuts, or bruises. Second task, ask why you're being given medication. Number 3, stress that you want to get better in the shortest time possible. Ask if physiotherapy will shorten the recovery period. For our next bullet point, ask about the length of the treatment. How long will it be before you are better? Number 5, ask if there is anything else you need to know. And lastly, ask if there could be after effects or ongoing problems as a result of your accident. Okay? Sir Brian, would you like to read the OET sample role play for the nurse, the candidate?
Setting, emergency department, local hospital. And this is the role play card of the nurse. This 35-year-old patient was involved in a car accident earlier today and is now suffering from a headache and whiplash, an injury to the cervical spine. He or she is being kept in the hospital for observation, but is expected to be discharged later in the day. Here are the tasks. The first one is find out what the patient thinks are the reasons why he or she is being kept in the hospital. Task number 2, advise the patient on the reason for taking and continuing to take medication and ways of managing the pain once he or she returns home. For example, with heat or ice, analgesics, a collar, and others. Discuss the best care practices for after the patient leaves the hospital. Describe the benefits of consulting a physiotherapist about exercise and relaxation exercises to loosen up the joints. And here's the next one. Explain that you cannot be sure how long the patient will take to recover fully. Also, stress the importance of complying with the treatment and exercise program. And finally, stress the importance of seeking medical advice if there is any increased pain or discomfort, nausea, vomiting, or vision problems.
Okay, so that's the sample role play. What's going to happen today, Sir Pheelyp and Sir Brian, both of them are actually nurses, so they totally understand what's happening here. I, on the other hand, I'm not a nurse, so I'm going to be a spectator, just listening to what's going on. Now, Sir Pheelyp took OET twice. Version 1.0, version 2.0. And in both attempts, he scored the perfect A in OET speaking. So he's going to take the role of the nurse. Well, Sir Brian is going to be the impatient patient. Okay? So, because I'm someone who is not totally aware of what's happening in OET because I'm not a nurse by profession, I don't even know what a whiplash is. Okay? So, I'll turn over the floor to both of them.
All right.
Okay, so we have preparation time.
Yes. In the actual exam, a candidate is given 3 minutes to prepare, and the interlocutor also has 3 minutes to prepare. You're supposed to have a piece of paper with you, together with a pencil, and both you and the interlocutor will be able to write down notes, write down keywords and such, in order to guide you during the actual discussion. So, Sir Brian and I will be giving each other 3 minutes to prepare now. And our 3 minutes, I'm timing it, starts now. So that's 3 minutes. In the actual exam, the interlocutor will be informing you, the candidate, when the 3 minutes is over. And it is the healthcare professional, in this case the nurse, who begins the conversation. So, Sir Brian?
Sir Pheelyp, can you start the role play now?
Certainly. Will you be timing, Sir Brian?
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Pheelyp. I'm the nurse for the shift. I'm here to check up on you. How have you been so far?
Well, I'm actually feeling absolutely okay. I don't understand why I'm being held here in the hospital. It's been days. I don't have any bruises. I don't have broken bones. I don't even have cuts in my body. Why are you holding me here for a very long time?
I see you're upset, sir. You have a very good idea why we're still keeping you here when you seem to be perfectly fine. And I'm glad you are fine. But if I could explain, the reason why we're asking you to stay a little bit longer is because after you had your car accident, though you have no physical problems right now, there may be some effects that might take a while before they happen, such as nausea, for example, or confusion, or problems with seeing. We just want to make sure that these things don't happen so that we could discharge you.
Alright, but a nurse came to my room a while ago and gave me medications.
Okay.
Why are you still giving me medications?
Well, are you experiencing any pain right now, sir?
No, I don't feel anything.
That's good. That's what the medications are doing.
Okay.
The medications are for pain because during your car accident, I understand the chart says that your neck feels painful and you have a slight headache. Did I get that right?
Well, when I came to the hospital, I did. But right now, I'm not feeling any pain, so I don't understand why there's a need for me to have medications.
I'm glad that you asked. The reason you're not experiencing any pain right now is because of the medication. This medication, though, we'd like to. I understand that you'd like to stop taking the medication. And the great thing about that is that there are different ways of managing the pain when you get home.
Okay, right. Well, I want to get better as soon as possible. I'm a very busy person.
I understand.
And I want to get home as soon as possible. So can you walk me through the process of recovering?
Definitely. After we make sure that none of those delayed effects happen for you, the schedule in the chart says that you can leave today. But when you get home, it's important that you engage in correct exercises, for example, to loosen up the muscles in your neck to make sure, because that is what's causing the stiffness in your neck is what's causing the headache primarily. I have a contact number for a physiotherapist. A physiotherapist is a healthcare professional who is specialized in taking care of our bones and our muscles to make sure that the exercises that you do are actually going to be helpful. Is this something you've done before?
No, I haven't really had physiotherapy before, but will this help?
Definitely, because the more that we use our muscles correctly, doing the proper exercises, stretching, and things like this, the faster your recovery will be. If you don't do that, unfortunately, sir, your recovery will be delayed, and we don't want that happening.
Okay. I'm a little concerned about the length of recovery, so how long will it really take for me to recover fully?
I understand it's important for you to find out, especially because you're busy, to know when you're going to start feeling back to normal. It's a range, sir. Some people recover different times. It takes time. It's different for every person. Some people recover. The shortest that the research informs us is as soon as 2 weeks, you're back to normal. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes 2 months. Now, in order to make sure that it's as fast as possible, I'd like to reiterate it's important for you to contact this physiotherapist that we refer in order for you to get back to normal as quickly as we can.
Is there anything else that I need to know?
Oh, definitely. There are many things, and here is a comprehensive brochure regarding all of these instructions. But I would like to emphasize that the most important thing for you to remember, sir, when you get back home is to be consistent in your exercise program and to the ways that for you to manage the pain, such as, for example, putting ice or cold compresses on your neck. There are instructions in the brochure, and if you have questions, you can ask me.
Okay. Well, I'm also concerned about the after effects or any ongoing problems that could happen if I don't comply with the medications or the exercises. Are there after effects?
Well, definitely there will be, and that's why we stress that you should comply as much as possible with the effects. However,
thank you, nurse. You've been very helpful.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so that is the end of the Oet Speaking role play. So for those of you who are watching for the very first time, now you totally understand what's the difference between Ielts Speaking and Oet Speaking. In Ielts Speaking, the examiner is expected to ask you just about anything. The examiner can move from flowers to newspaper to traveling and so on. But in Oet Speaking, it's an entirely different world. What is letter O in OET? Occupational English test. So please expect that whatever is going to come out in OET speaking is related to your O occupation. That is why it's specific for each profession. So if you're a nurse, then the case notes are also related to nursing. Now, before we ask Sir Pheelyp and Sir Brian to evaluate their performance in OET, let's first give our subscribers, our audience, an idea what are the criteria for judging in OET speaking. Well, in Ielts speaking, it's fluency and coherence, pronunciation and delivery, lexical resource or vocabulary, and grammatical range and accuracy. But what about for OET speaking?
For OET speaking, there are two kinds of criteria. First, there are linguistic criteria, and second, there are communicative criteria. The linguistic criteria are four, and they are quite similar to the criteria for the IELTS exam. The four linguistic criteria are fluency, grammar, appropriateness, and pronunciation. When it comes to the communicative criteria, there are five. The first is structure, then building relationship, incorporating the patient's views, getting information, and giving information. Whereas the former criteria, the linguistic criteria, focus on your command of the language itself. The communicative criteria, on the other hand, focus on aspects of communication that are specific for healthcare. Whether how therapeutic you are, how much you're able to empathize and validate the feelings of the person you're talking to. And this is what makes OET quite different and distinct compared to all the other English tests out there.
Okay, so earlier, Sir Pheelyp was the examinee. So let's ask Sir Brian, how is he going to evaluate the performance of the nurse during the OET role play? What can you say, Sir Brian?
Yeah, how did I do, Sir Brian?
Oh, yeah.
It was actually a very smooth performance. It's very hard to find a candidate who has very good flow and a very organized train of thought. And in the communication that we had, in the role play that we had, everything was very clear, everything was very organized. Sir Pheelyp here followed all of the tasks in correct sequence and was able to naturally talk very fluently. These are all going to impact the communicative criteria of OET. Including fluency or intelligibility, appropriateness, and everything else. Vocabulary was very good.
Why, thank you.
Well, of course. There weren't any jargons, and in OET, you wouldn't really want to use technical language because that can be very confusing to the patients and will not be the right kind of register to use for OET. In his case, he explained everything very clearly, especially the conditions and the health professionals who will be taking care of the patient. He also empathized very well with me while I was having the role play with him. I was quite difficult, but he acknowledged my emotions and my feelings. He reassured me and also explained why I should be reassured. And these are all hallmarks of a very good performance for the occupational English test. Overall, that's a very strong performance. Something that you would want to emulate in your actual examination.
That sounds so beautiful.
So now, the question is, what is the candidate supposed to do to improve his or her performance in OET speaking? Well, definitely, you need correct information. It all starts from there, the basics and the fundamentals. If you don't know correct information from the beginning, there is no road to progress. Well, as they say, it's practice that makes perfect. But that's not what 9.09er believes in. We always tell our students not to study harder, but to study smarter. It's not practice, it's constant correct practice. So, as the senior lecturers of 9.09er for OET, what do you suggest to our candidates?
Well, actually, it's not only us that suggests that you prepare for your exams. It's OET actually emphasizes the need to prepare correctly for the examination. So probably investing in test preparation, in a good test preparation center is very important in improving your skills and making sure that you're test ready so that you would know that you have the capability and the confidence to set your examinations and succeed in the OET. How about you, Sir Pheelyp?
Definitely. Building on what he said, the test preparation centers like 9.09er, we help you to develop these skills that I'm sure that you've developed in your own way as a healthcare professional. We just help you to articulate and express yourselves in a manner that would get you the grade that you want, to get you the life that you want. And these skills that are being assessed in OET, these are real life skills. So these are things that you can practice in your real life. Perhaps you can practice being more empathetic with the people around you. Maybe you can try paraphrasing the what your friends say or what your family say to make their feelings validated. And when you realize that the performance that you deliver during the exam is not actually that different, or it shouldn't be that different from your performance in the ward or during duty or in your everyday life, then it starts feeling a lot more natural to talk this way, in this empathetic and therapeutic manner. And that's what makes all the difference and would let you score as high as you can.
And what makes the difference? Well, one-on-one coaching.
Definitely.
You can read on your own. You can listen on your own. But when you speak and write on your own without anyone to evaluate you, that's when it becomes problematic. So for those who do not know yet, we offer unlimited one-on-one coaching. Before, it was just 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But because of the demand for one-on-one coaching, definitely we have to adjust. So now, we have more than 80 to 90 slots for OET one-on-one coaching literally every single day, Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And for our students, they know for a fact that we easily adjust. So when the need arises for us to hire more coaches, definitely we're going to add slots. Sir Brian should know this, that in the last few weeks, we've been hiring on a weekly basis, like literally every single week. So now, for OET, we have approximately 10 coaches, and for Ielts, we have approximately 20 coaches. If you need help in preparation for OET, definitely you know whom to contact. We are 9.09er. We'll see you in our future videos.